Bates here from Pop Turnus. We do Cat Connor Sterling about Five Nights at Freddy's, which is currently in theaters and streaming on Peacock as well. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here. Well, welcome back to the show. It's good to see you again.
Yes, I'm back. It's been a couple of years, but I get to be back for a really cool thing. So I'm excited.
I mean, this is the type of kind of brand and franchise that everyone kind of knows because they play the video games. And when it was announced they're making a movie, it was like one of those things where everyone kind of stopped and was like, I want it now. And then there's all these kind of waves of announcements and like casting and trailers. Is it crazy that it's like actually out now? Like it's pretty nuts, right?
I can't believe it's here. It's like it took so long to like develop and stuff. And I was surprised we even released it this year because we just filmed it from February to April. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of crazy that like it took that long to develop and then we filmed it and now it's here.
I know, it's so crazy. Your character, it's interesting because there's this like, you like your character in the beginning that you're not sure, but then you like her again. Did it read like that with the script with this character specifically? Where there's this push and pull?
You know, I think so. What's funny with the script is like there were a lot of I think they took it in a different direction than they had originally intended.
Okay.
I think that's why you feel so bad for her. Yeah. I think originally she was supposed to be a bit more bubbly, and so you wouldn't have liked her as much. But I kind of came into it feeling the kind of weight to her and feeling bad for her. I think she was stuck in a bad place, and I think I will say there were some things cut out that you guys missed. And so hopefully you guys will get it with the deleted scenes and stuff of kind of a little bit more of her backstory. But she was just in a bad situation and I feel bad for her. I mean, I'm biased, but.
What was the audition process like? Did you audition for that character? Did you audition for a bunch of characters? Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because like we talked about, so I was in A Week Away a couple of years ago. And I booked that from a single self-tape. And that's what I did this time, too. We just did, crazy. I did both of them from my bedroom. Mm-hmm. And as actors, we have so many auditions that we do. And so I don't have the time for every single audition to really go through. Like, I did not have time to explore the lore of Five Nights. Because, like, you can't do that in one night.
No. You can't even do that in 5 nights.
No, you can't do that in 5 nights. So basically, I just got sent an audition from like a Blumhouse film, which I was like, oh, cool. Like, I love Blumhouse. Yeah. Like, I grew up a huge fan. I did not know about Five Nights at Freddy's. I did not grow up playing the game. And so I didn't know that it was based off a video game. I just auditioned, was like, this is cool. And I felt really good about it, about the tape, and didn't hear back, but that is very usual as actors do. And so kind of forgot about it. And then one night my manager's like, you got booked for that movie, Five Nights at Freddy's. And I was like, yeah, sweet. So I was calling it Friday Nights at Freddy's because I thought that's what it was. And then I looked it up and I was like, wait a second, this is a really big deal. Like, I didn't quite get it. And so it was kind of crazy to become a part of this franchise just from that single self-tape.
It was interesting, too, because I played the game, so I knew it all the time. But there would be, like, people that would go into stores, like Hot Topic and things, and see, like, Five Nights at Freddy's merch. And, like, not knowing what it was, but being like, it's always around. Like, what is it?
I didn't realize it until like I booked it. Then all of a sudden it's like this magic happened and it's everywhere. Like my dad, so I booked it last December 2022 is when I auditioned and booked it. And so my dad went to the store and bought me a bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's gift wrap. And so this year it's all my presents are being wrapped in Five Nights at Freddy's gift wrap.
Oh man, that's the best. And it's interesting too because, you know, there's a lot of elements in this movie, and like obviously like the horror movie landscape is so big right now, but it's really cool because people are able to go watch it on Peacock, but I went to go see it in theaters and like it's the best. Like
it's such a good experience.
It really is.
To like watch in theaters. I've seen it twice in theaters and then once on Peacock. And I mean, yeah, it gives it a whole different experience, like to kind of jump out. And I love watching people's reactions because like I'll go to just like a theater and sit. And so I get to see people's like real live reactions to it, which is really cool.
Let's talk spoilers. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it. Spoiler alert. I have to do that now because sometimes
Yes.
you get it. Okay.
Yeah, people get mad.
Your character does not make it in this movie. And I just want to know, I mean, when you have a movie like this, you're going into it with a chance that your character might not survive, right? Like, I feel like...
Right.
But like, what was that like kind of reading? Like, did you get the script all at once? Did you get kind of everything at once? Or like, did you find out about the kill scene later on? Like, I'm just curious about that.
So they gave us 3 scenes to audition with, and then the final scene was the kill scene. Okay. But it was not what was in the movie. I don't know if they changed it, or I don't know if they just gave me like a fake script. Originally, like I don't know. Again, I don't know if this was just like they didn't want anyone to know. So sometimes they give actors fake sides.
Yep.
So I don't know if it was a fake side or if this was originally what they intended, but it was like I was still killed by Freddy, but like it wasn't the bite. It was like I was slipping on paint, and then he comes up and like he envelops me in his shadow or whatever. But I'm a huge fan of what actually happened. So
absolutely. And I want to ask, because watching that sequence, just like it's so dark and you're alone and everything in the what did you refer to it as? Like, did you refer to it as a restaurant, a cafe? Like, what did the cast refer Five Nights, like that place as?
What did we like refer to like the whole like Freddy's pizzeria?
Yeah, did you just call it the pizzeria? Like, because it's like you're walking into this like pizzeria that's so like quiet and it's like terrifying. You know what I mean?
I think we just called it Freddy's.
Freddy's. Yeah. Perfect. So when you were at Freddy's, like in that scene is like terrifying. But I'm just wondering, because I know how it is, right? There's a lot of like effects that are put in and like you're in the zone and everything. Did it feel scary, like filming that scene specifically?
Yeah. I mean, our set design was crazy. Like you really felt like you were there. Like we were all these tunnels and stuff that you go through. And like, I saw Freddy for the first time and like freaked out because it's like unsettling. Like, I don't think people understand these things are like 8 feet tall.
Wow.
And like, they are gigantic. Like most of the animatronics, like they really did build those. And so like, and there's like people inside of them. And then I think I had 2 Freddys. I mean, there's multiples. Mm-hmm. And so we used one head for me, and then we used the actual big Freddy. And so I found that very unsettling. Yep. But like when I see something unsettling, my reaction is to laugh. And so like I just could not stop laughing. Like they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Not really," but but it was. I mean, it was both unsettling but very cool, because I was like, if I'm like scared, like as the actor, and like there's a million other things going on, like I cannot wait for people to like actually see it.
100%. When you worked on A Week Away on Netflix, I mean, that's a musical, so you have like scenes where you're talking, but you're singing as well. I'm just wondering if like the mindset is like very different or not as different as we think, kind of going from that movie to Five Nights specifically from an acting storyteller perspective, or like does your whole preparation kind of change, or not as much as we would think?
I'd say you have to, both of them require a lot of focus. Mm-hmm. Because with A Week Away, you needed to have that energy that you needed to keep up, because like dancing and singing and all of that is like requires some stamina, some serious stamina. And so you need to prepare yourself that way. But with something like Freddy's, especially with like my big spooky scene at the end, and a lot of Max's scenes were kind of heavy, you got to kind of prepare yourself and ground yourself in a focus that is a different kind of energy. Mm-hmm. And so I would have to just kind of go in a corner, because you want to make it believable. You want to make it like you want to really bring people in with you to Freddy's, and that's what kind of makes it so scary and intense. So I say it is different, but like the thing that's the same about them is that they both require a kind of focus where you kind of have to take a moment to yourself. It's
also exciting too, like, looking at the genres of it, right? Like a musical on Netflix, like a horror movie. It's exciting, right? To be able to kind of dive into different worlds, Kat?
It is. It's crazy. It's crazy cool being like, that was A Week Away was my first big movie. That was my first kind of introduction. I had been in like one like co-star in a TV series, but then A Week Away was my big break.
Mhm.
And so to go from that, and then I've had some indies that are still kind of in the works right now, but to go from that to like this giant horror adaptation, I think is like the coolest thing for your career. Just being able to do both. And I'd love to do both. I would never want to pick. I love the fun, happy musical, and I love the scary, dark, spooky stuff. I think both are equally really cool.
What was it like? I mean, you have scenes of Josh and there's Piper as well, who is so good in this movie.
Right.
What was that like kind
Yes.
of doing those scenes at the house and everything where you're like babysitting?
Right. So I worked with Bailey Madsen in A Week Away.
Yep.
And she played his little sister,
And
Bridget
Bridget
Terabithia.
Terabithia. Yep.
Yeah, so I called her up and I was like, so is he gonna crush my dreams? I have the biggest crush on him. Like, is he a nice person? Like, I'm gonna cry if he is not a good person. She was like, Kat, he is like amazing. He is so nice. Like, she was so little when she did that film and he was a little older, and she was like, he's just the sweetest person, and I wouldn't believe it if he had changed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had high hopes that he was the same person. And I can assure everyone he definitely is. He definitely led that film with, humility and his incredible talent. And so I'm a huge fan of the NBA. I love watching NBA. I'm from Memphis, so I watch the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's a huge Lakers fan. And so we would watch like NBA together back like backstage and stuff. And so that would be what we would talk about. And a fun fact is, so when we filmed that ending scene, spoiler alert, when I am in Shadow Freddy and he finds me or whatever, I was getting kind of claustrophobic. So I brought my phone in there with me to watch the NBA games. So when like we would break, I'd tell him the score. And so I'd be like, all right, 9 down. He'd be like, okay, good. Let me know next time. And so that was our little thing going there. But yeah, really sweet guy. Piper, I mean, just a cutie, just a sweetheart, so talented. Everyone loved her. I mean, just a little nugget. And, her performance is incredible. And like, what a career she has ahead of her. Like, just the sweetest, kindest little baby. And she's going to do such amazing things.
It's really cool that you got to work like in a horror movie where you had scenes that were like, about kind of the humanity and the relationships and the friendships with people, right? Like at the house and everything.
Right.
But then you also have like the kill scene, right? Like
right. Yeah. Yeah. I get both. That's both worlds. Yeah.
Which is so awesome. What would you say was your favorite thing about being part of Five Nights at Freddy's specifically? Was it like this? Like, was it just kind of the scenery? Was it the people? A lot of people say the people. Yeah. Like,
I don't know. That's hard. I think just overall, it's hard. I'm going to give you multiple answers.
Absolutely.
I can't give you one answer. The people from production to the cast crew were so kind. I had the most wonderful time. I have nothing but good things to say about my experience, which, you can't always say about working on a movie. You can't always say that. And I definitely will always look back at that as what a wonderful time of my life. And I was treated so wonderfully. And, well, okay, here's my second thing. My second thing is just getting to see all the animatronics.
Yep.
I think that was incredibly cool, and our sets were so cool. I got to go through and walk through like the actual pizzeria and the kitchen and whatever, like the party room or whatever. Seeing that was cool. And then also, quite frankly, like the fans have been so incredible.
The fan
just
base
so
is
like
insane.
Like I had no idea that it was this huge, and they have just been so unbelievably kind. Like, you expect some hate comments, and I'll occasionally get some because welcome to the internet.
Your character technically too technically your character is an antagonist. Technically.
Right. Technically, yeah. Technically, yeah. But they have been just nothing but welcoming and encouraging, and they've really made it an even better experience.
Absolutely. And it's still, in theaters so people can check it out. I went to go see it on Halloween, which was amazing.
Oh,
That was my
that's a great
Halloween
time to see
plans.
it.
I went to go see it. It
Oh,
was so fun. And then
that's the best time to see it.
and it's also streaming on Peacock. That's Five Nights at Freddy's. Kat, so great catching up. Thanks so much for coming back on the show.
Yes, we'll have to do another time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your Instagram account is where you're mostly active, right? For
Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah. Is it just your name, Kat Connor Sterling?
Yes.
Okay, so they can check out. There's probably going to be a lot of content they can check out.
Oh, yeah. I have so much. I have like 6 months of backed up content, so get ready.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Pop Turd of youtube.com/PopTurd for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Kat Connor Sterling and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.